All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WAN show. I mean, it was a joke.
What was?
That bit there that I just did.
Oh.
I mean,
this isn't the WAN show?
No, it is the WAN show, and they
Okay.
are welcome. There just aren't any ladies.
Oh.
We've got a great show for you guys today. Intel is rumored to be working on Core i9 processors. So, wow, that's been, what, 7 years in the works since the original rumors?
Maybe this will finally be over 4 cores on a consumer die.
NVIDIA announces the first, well, what do we call it? We can't call it a video card because it won't even have like video outputs. But it's a GPU, okay? First Volta GPU. It's the biggest they've ever made. And what else we got here?
I don't know where it went, but maybe that's part of the whole deal. Here it is. There's a NSA-derived ransomware worm that is just going everywhere and screwing huge companies over, and it's scary and bad, and we'll talk about that. Also, where did it go? The UK police start using Minority Report-esque AI to help decide the fate of inmates.
Really?
Apparently.
All right, so let's roll that intro, and hopefully the world is still here when we come back.
Yeah.
No guarantees, though.
Harm assessment risk to alert.
Huh.
Forecasts that they were low risk were accurate 98% of the time. And forecasts
Oh yeah, LTX 2017 Tech Carnival.
Hooray!
Get conned on Saturday, July 29th, 2017. Tickets on sale now at, wow, really?
What a good link. We decided not to shorten that at all.
What is ticketrocket.co?
/event/detail/97246/LTX-2017. If you could remember that, heck yeah.
Yeah, because it's gone!
Squarespace!
What is .co? I mean, I know .co.uk, but what? Oh, wait, hold on. All right, oh, wait, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no!
Oh, jeez. Everything's ruined. The show's over now. You played it twice.
Oh, crap. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. See you again next week. Okay, but in all seriousness, we have some huge news. Now that James_Gravity, so that's at James_Gravity on Twitter, is off probation, he will reply to all emoji sentences with an emoji sentence. Only tweets from now till Sunday count. I guess this has been creating problems for him. Actually getting too many people sending nonsense with his @ tag added. Also, in other
Why does it have anything to do with being off probation?
He just is excited. I get it.
Okay.
I get it. I mean, were you excited when you were off probation? You didn't have to check in with your officer anymore?
I was going to say, I don't think I even officially had one.
Oh, did your mom even know about that? She watches the show, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't tell her about that. Sorry, Mom. We'll talk about that later.
I had other important news, too. I forget what it was, though. I guess it couldn't have been that important. Oh, yes! Brandon has brought the world's most horrendous snack into this office.
Oh, thank you.
So he pulls me over onto a set to do like a and this is not a sponsored bit.
No.
This stuff is trash. Complete and absolute trash. Nongshim, you should never produce. No, get out of here. Get out of here. Trash, okay? Sorry, I'm covering you up. I'm just like, trash.
No, it's fine.
Trash, cover it up.
At least
trash.
Oh!
Rude. So he brings me over there to do like a bit for B-roll. He's like, look relaxed, look lazy. So I'm sitting on the couch with my bag of what is presumably actually food on my tummy. I go and I grab one, I throw it in my mouth, and I'm just like, I swear, just about tossed it. These are disgusting. Okay, so there's a concept. There's a concept that I call here. Why don't you grab a couple, throw them in your mouth. We'll get here. You're drifting. Okay, here, yeah, there we go. Okay. So there's a concept that I call. I actually learned this from my old boss at NCIX. They don't smell as bad as they taste. called calorie worthy. Hold on, can I have this back? There's some nutritional facts on these things. So it's one thing for something to have 20% of your daily fat intake per 50 grams. And there's another thing altogether for it to taste like absolute garbage at the same time.
Okay, to be fair, like, they don't taste great, but they just don't taste like anything.
What?
I don't know how you had a strong reaction.
You don't taste like
I
rotting ocean? Yeah, and your breath is gonna be like
I think I smell like
savage.
rotting ocean. Yeah.
Savage.
I'm not gonna have any more because I don't want to scare people away from a block away. But like I can smell it really strongly now that I ate it. But like it tastes like really, really, really thin, airy Rice Krispie, or not Rice Krispie. What are those called? It's made out of Rice Krispie stuff, I think.
Like rice crackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tastes like rice crackers with an infusion of rotting shrimp.
Yeah, a little bit.
Absolutely disgusting.
But it's not super strong. Like, did you gag on it?
Almost gagged. Definitely had to spit it out. I didn't try to swallow it.
Like I didn't have that reaction.
Oh, I cannot eat that trash. That's horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
The smell turns me off it completely.
Oh, that is not a good smell. Okay, this was originally posted by Kamesh SS on the forum. Intel is rumored to be working on... Wait, what? What forum is this? Oh, this is a non-tech forum. Oh, okay, right. Intel is rumored to be working on Core i9 processors. So let's go ahead and pull up this exclusive post in the AnandTech forum by Sweeper, the Diamond member. And, oh, whoops, it helps if I plug in my laptop. Dang it.
I've got a Diamond member.
Do you have a Diamond member? Sounds hard.
Yeah.
Rock hard.
Diamond hard.
The hardest.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, that's better. So, this is the rumored Skylake X lineup. Core i9 7920X, whatever that means. Core i9 7900X. So apparently...
They all have X's?
That's 12 cores and... Oh.
Are they all Extreme Editions?
Are they all... So everything Core i9 is Extreme? Does that make sense to you?
No.
You know what, though? What I'll say is these specs actually look like they make a fair bit of sense. I don't know about the names, but 12-core, 24-thread, based on what we know about Skylake and its improved power profile versus Broadwell, that probably makes sense for a new Extreme Edition. And then this generation, they went, okay, 2 cores down and otherwise mostly unaffected with really good, turbo speeds or whatever. So so we've got a 6950X and we've got a 6900K right now. So these look like the replacements there. We got a 12 and a 10 core, which is cool. More cores. I'm never going to say no to that. Then moving down, this is where I don't like it. But it starts to make, again, a lot of sense.
There's a 6-core that's an X, though?
Yeah, so it looks like they're changing it so that anything HEDT, high-end desktop, so that's LGA's 1366, 2011, 2011-3, and then I forget what this one's going to be, but it's the one that's coming. It looks like those are all going to be X and all going to be Core i9 now. So these next 2 down, which will probably be like the $700 and the like $450, $500 one, look like they're going to be 8 and 6 core with only 28 PCIe lanes, and with the 6 core really getting kicked in the teeth as far as turbo boost goes. So it's not getting a new Turbo 3.0. This is all rumored though. And then this is a fairly well substantiated rumor that we're gonna get a KB Lake X on the high-end desktop platform that, and I don't get these SKUs at all, like at all, but they're basically gonna be higher TDP Core i7 7700Ks and Core i5 7600K.
That are called 7740.
That you have to have a much more expensive motherboard in order to install. Same PCIe lanes, same size cache, 4 cores, 4 threads for the i5. Or I guess it's an i7. It's an i7 with no hyperthreading. I'm finally going to have to...
Wait, what?
I'm finally going to have to...
I didn't even notice that on the bottom one.
I'm going to have to redo that video now. And then 4 cores, 8 threads on the actual i7. That's the, I don't get this. So I don't know if you remember this, but back when Intel split the lineups, so LGA 775 was the last time we had Extreme Edition all the way down to Celeron on the same socket.
Yep.
Then what happened was Intel launched LGA 1156. So that was Linfield. And what happened with the LGA 1156 was that all of a sudden we got this... wait, hold on, let me think for a second. Was it 1156 first, or did they launch 1366 first? Uh-oh, I might be getting myself into trouble here. Sorry, what's that? It was 1366 first?
Yeah, 58.
And then what happened was they launched 1156, and then we got Linfield, and then we got, what was it, Ivy Bridge after Linfield?
No, Sandy.
Sandy Bridge.
Sandy Bridge was the first one to switch it up.
So Sandy Bridge switched it up, right? And Sandy Bridge was on the same platform as Linfield. Dang it, I'm getting my Intel history mixed up. You know what? Why don't you do another topic while I double check this stuff?
Okay.
And then we'll get back to it.
I'm pretty sure everything John just said was right, though.
I am too, but I also just want to, I couldn't really hear him very well anyway. And if I just put it in front of me, and then I will feel better.
Sure. A lot of these are like either big topics.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
NVIDIA releases GeForce Experience 3.6.
That's news.
Apparently, posted by The Dark Potato. Shadowplay now supports additional rendering APIs, including OpenGL and Vulkan, and the usability has been streamlined, apparently, allowing easy uploads to Facebook, if you wanted to do that, Twitch and Google from an improved overlay, but probably still is taking telemetry data to a certain degree and still requires a full login to use. So I will still continue to not have it on any of my computers. So it's not going to help me at all.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, so LGA 1366. Here we go. So we had 775, everything was unified. We got LGA 1366, which was this bona fide higher end platform. It had triple channel memory, it had more PCIe lanes.
My dad still runs it.
At some point later on, it ended up getting up to 6 core processors, which was pretty darn dope AF, as the kids say. In fact, the Core i7 980X, I believe it was called. Here we go. That one launched Q1 2010, so I believe that came out right with the platform launch, as I recall. Anyway, so bonafide higher-end platform. Then we got Clarkdale and Linfield on LGA 1156. Then what Intel did was they gave us the consumer upgrade to that, which was Sandy Bridge first, before giving us Sandy Bridge E on LGA 2011, if I recall correctly. Again, oh wow, I really hope I'm not making another mistake. Did we get Sandy Bridge E on 1366? This is terrible. This is the worst WAN show segment that I have ever done.
I was too poor to care about these tiers at that time.
Well, it was my job to sell it, so so it definitely, yeah. So we got Nehalem, and then wow, this is incredibly unhelpful.
Microsoft unveiled a Windows mixed reality controller thing. Microsoft has announced controllers to support new mixed reality and VR headsets coming from the likes of Acer and HP. The controllers will rely on inside-out tracking technology, so you won't need to set up any special sensors around your room in order to actually use them. They have a thumbstick like the Oculus Touch, a touchpad like the Vive, and a wand-like design with a tracking ring on the end. I don't think we're going to be able to get this on stream. Acer will offer them bundled together with its Windows VR headset for a $100 premium.
Yeah, no, I do. I have you.
Oh. I see. Give me a second.
Yes, we got this.
There. So they look kind of like a hybrid, almost. It's interesting.
Okay.
They sort of look like someone was like, hey, we're the new players. Maybe if we just wedge ourselves exactly in between, we'll see if we can do okay. Because they look like Vive controllers that someone tried to like wrench an Oculus controller onto.
Yeah. If they're light, they could be pretty comfortable. They got to get the weighting right. And it's hard to say, like, if the base of the handle had kind of some heft to it, like if that's where the battery is,
Yeah.
then I could kind of see this. I could kind of see this being okay. Okay. So anyway, yes.
Go back for one quick second.
Oh, yes.
And here's pictured the Acer VR headset.
Oh, so I've talked to Acer about this. Right now, dev kits only. They are not seeding them to press, but we are definitely interested in getting our hands on one of these to check out. At the Acer event that I was at in New York, Microsoft's like head AR guy came on and was talking about how this headset is apparently actually pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's a keynote, so like,
who knows?
Yeah, it could be nonsense, but there you go. There's someone somewhat credible who came and said a thing that might be believable.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I was right. So Sandy Bridge E went on to Socket 2011, and that happened after we had gotten Sandy Bridge architecture on the mainstream platform. Anyway, the whole point of all of that was the rumor. The word on the street was that for LGA 1366, it was rumored that in addition to the Core i7 920, 930, and I don't want to get this wrong. I don't remember if the 950 came later, whatever the launch lineup was. They were all Core i7s. The rumor was that there was going to be a higher end Core i9. Okay? And that never did materialize. We did get Extreme Edition dual socket platforms, but Intel never formally called those Core i9. Those ended up with names like, I think it was Core i7 9775 was the end of QX 9775 was the end of, actually, that was on LGA 771. So what was the one after Skull Trail? I think it was just.
I was tuned out trying to find a new
yeah.
topic.
So after that, so you were basically just expected to put Xeons in them, as I recall correctly. So EVGA SR2. So they had the classified SR2. It was dual 1366, but people basically just put Xeons in them. So there you go. That's what went down there. So finally, Core i9 is raising its head again, and maybe we will see a Core i9, but maybe not. I've also seen other rumors that have suggested that it's just going to be more Core i7s. But I think that would... Oh man, the lineup is getting so confusing here.
Yes.
If there's any truth to this rumor whatsoever, it's going to be like, what is a Core i5?
You know what, though? There's another way to look at this.
Uh-huh.
This is very good for us. This is fantastic for us. This is terrible for like almost everyone else, but like us and Paul and Kyle and Dimitri and other like tech YouTube people, fantastic. Written article people, great.
So everybody wins except
for all of the consumers.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm okay with that.
Because we're going to have to make videos explaining what the hell is going on. There's probably going to be a Tech Wiki video explaining what the heck an i9 is and what that means for everything else.
I'm going to have to completely redo that video. John is going to have to completely redo that video.
A big explanation of the technical overview of these processors when it comes out is going to have to be like, okay, what the heck even is this? You can check out the Tech Wiki video, but here's a short explanation, blah, blah, blah.
All right, let's get into, we actually don't always talk about, the security exploit du jour on the WAN show, just because, there are other publications that I think handle that kind of security stuff a little bit more in depth than we do.
Yeah, we're not going to dive into it as far.
But this Posted originally on the forum by Master Disaster. The original article here is from Ars Technica, is sort of a big deal. Okay,
Yeah.
drop a knowledge bomb, Luke. Here we go.
So there's a bunch of different things going on with this. I actually don't know enough about it, to be completely honest. But if you want like springboard points, WannaCryptor. It was spotted a few weeks ago. The ransomware was not really distributed that much, and then suddenly WannaCryptor exploded and began spreading like wildfire through an exploit called Eternal Blue. One thing that's freaky with all this kind of stuff is a lot of it's derived from NSA tech, and it's ransomware. So big companies are getting hit, their servers are getting locked down, encrypted, and the key is being sold to them for, I believe it's like $300, but then who the heck knows if that even works.
Yep.
That's like the core concept of the whole issue. And it's being distributed like a worm. So it's spreading extremely fast, hitting a ton of... I think it's
Why don't you
in
explain how a
72
worm
different
works
countries.
for the viewers who don't know?
That's a really kind of a big topic.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, the 30-second sort of a worm versus like opening up an attachment on your computer.
It's going to try to grow itself. And it's going to try to travel around and expand by itself. It's not like a targeted attack. They're not going, we want Linus Tech Tips servers. I'm going to try to hit this dude with it.
Right.
They're letting it try to crawl around on its own.
Got it. So, organizations in at least 74 countries have been affected, with Russia being disproportionately affected, followed by Ukraine, India, and Taiwan. It is spreading at a rate of about 100 IPs per minute.
Now, there is an insane amount of IPs out there, but that is really fast. They're demanding, like I said, about $300 to $600 paid in Bitcoin, unsurprisingly, by May 15th.
Or, if you missed that deadline, there'll apparently be a higher fee by May 19th. And the messages left on the screen say files will remain encrypted. It's not clear if there are flaws in the encryption scheme that might allow the victims to restore the files without paying the ransom.
It's a little unlikely, I'd say.
According to an article posted by Madrid-based El Mundo, 85% of computers at Telefonica, Spain's dominant telecom, are affected by the worm, although that has not been confirmed. Woo! Wow! So, basically, I set up snapshotting on our server today. I hadn't gotten around to it yet on the Vault.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. So actually, I guess this leads us to a pretty good discussion, I guess, around how to protect yourself against ransomware.
Yeah.
So one of the ways, most effective way?
Is what? What
Snapshot?
do you say? Snapshot is good, but it would be very helpful if you saved snapshots on a service that wasn't always connected.
Sure.
Because it's a worm, so it could just potentially encrypt both of them. Then you have two ransomware machines.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Snapshotting, what it does is without creating a completely separate copy, like snapshotting a 70, let's see, how big is the vault right now? 160 terabytes is how much data we're actually using right now. Snapshotting a 160 terabyte share by duplicating it would be super dumb.
Yeah.
Like using up 320 terabytes of space just to have another copy would be bad.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works. The way it works is it actually only logs changes.
So you have the original one, and then you have logged changes after that.
That's right. So let's say I deleted a 1 terabyte folder from my 160 terabytes. That means that...
Okay, apparently the National Health Service was affected, and lots of data has been lost.
Wow.
Lots of patient data.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so back to how to protect yourself. Okay, so what snapshotting does is, let's say I deleted a 1 terabyte folder from my 160. Until I reach the end of how long I want to keep my snapshots. So you set up a profile, like say for example, you snapshot every hour for 24 hours, and then every day for 7 days, and every week for 4 weeks. That would be a pretty typical sort of loadout. And then every month for 12 months. People might do something along those lines. So until that terabyte folder that I deleted reaches the end of all of my retention sort of setup. Reaches the.
One big thing to
hurts.
pay attention to here is if you're snapshotting everything,
Yes.
You want to make sure that whatever you're putting it on.
I was going to explain that, but my brain is dumb. Okay. So total space on disk. You don't get to get rid of stuff you've deleted until after it's like fallen off the end of how long you retain your snapshots. There, that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Well, I just am clearly unqualified to explain today. So basically, the way that it works on our servers is that the snapshotting is done on the ZFS pool level. And then the way that the data is actually visible over our network is through a Samba share. So we are snapshotting the pool. So the snapshots themselves are never actually visible to anything that is connected to our server via the network. So that's one way that you can decouple your snapshotting solution from computers on the network that, because it's a worm and it spreads over the network, could otherwise infect it and encrypt it. Because if you think that you're keeping your data safe just by having it on a NAS, that is not the case at all. Something that gets
Especially not right now.
Something that gets onto your computer, if that computer and that user that's logged in on your computer has write access to that share, it can do whatever it wants to it, including encrypting the data. There, did I get there eventually?
I think so. And one of the mods on the forum, thank you very much. I'm not going to say your name because it's like actually your full name on here, and I don't know if that's okay or not, has said that depending on how your snapshots are set up, it may be useless against something like this worm because it is designed to delete Windows file history, backups, shadow volume copies, etc. So it's a little aggressive. If you want to be like super duper sure, one of the things that you could do is back up onto a device like an external hard drive or something, and then just unplug it.
Yep.
The easiest way to defend against something that is spreading over a network is to not be on the network. There you go. So apparently, if we want to keep on diving into this, I can go through like the point to point of how it works.
Yeah, I would actually love to hear about that.
This is actually in our notes, but the installer creates an encrypted zip with all of the malware files. The malware files are extracted with ransom notes in all popular languages. WannaCryptor will then download a Tor client. Tor is used to communicate with ransomware servers at .onion addresses. It gives everyone permissions to all files and folders. All database and mail server processes are stopped as data used by these will be encrypted too. All files are encrypted. When encrypted, the .wn cry extension is added. It stores the following in every folder, that is at please read me, at .txt ransom note, at WannaCryptor, at .exe decryptor. It requests admin privileges from the user with UAC prompt to do the following: clear the shadow volume copies, disable Windows startup recovery, and clear Windows server backup history. The computer background is changed, and Wanna Decryptor 2.0 launches with the ransom note in your local language.
Well, that's convenient.
It's actually rather sophisticated.
Wow.
It's a little aggressive. So, like, if you, like, store your super important, might get audited tax information or something on, like, a NAS that's, like, USB plugged into your computer.
So,
maybe unplug it or something.
An encrypted file container could sit there, and you might think that that's safe, but this could actually take your encrypted file container
and encrypt that again.
And encrypt that.
Yeah, because
So
you can have layers of encryption.
Just, you started mentioning things like tax returns, and I know, like, I was actually, like, I'm thinking about it from a Linus Media Group perspective, and I was like, okay, hold on a second. Where's that container that contains all of Linus Media Group's that stuff? Right, yeah, that's not safe unless it's on. So the way that I set it up is okay, though, right?
I think so.
Yeah, okay,
We
good.
can go over it after more if you want.
I'm pretty sure.
Lots of stuff has changed since I've been, like, integral to the server stuff.
Right.
So I don't 100% know, but we can go over it.
All right, NVIDIA. This was posted by DocSwag on the forum. The original article here we have is from PCWorld.com. NVIDIA announces A Volta GPU. I did not see this one coming. I didn't think Volta was coming for a bit, actually. So, for those of you who aren't aware, this is the update to NVIDIA's Pascal architecture.
A lot of people are saying, like, oh, this is already patched in March. A lot of people running servers don't automatically download every patch that comes out and have their updates disabled.
Which is why it's sort of a big deal.
That's like a super big deal, and that's why people are very widely talking about companies that are getting affected, because a lot of companies might be running servers that don't have Windows Update enabled.
Or they might have a domain controller that has a policy that, you know, tells the entire fleet of deployed laptops not to install updates except when they decide to roll them out. Like,
Yep.
There's a lot more to the world than just like the way that an individual uses a computer.
Every
so,
single person having Windows Update on automatic is not a reality that we exist in.
I mean, that's what we do, but
No, servers.
oh, servers, no.
But okay, yeah.
I'm also a big stupid nerd though, and I'm like often in the server room at the end of the day, and when no one else is here, I'll be like, oh good, no one else is here, and I'll like install updates and reboot the server. So ours are probably actually fine. I've done them pretty recently.
Yeah. But like, there is a lot of people that might not have that update, is what I'm trying to get across.
I do kind of wish that Microsoft would make it clear when it's actually that important.
Instead of like trying to force you to update to Windows 10.
With that said, you know what? Our Active Directory domain server did completely restart on its own. And that was about 3 weeks ago, I think. So I'm actually kind of wondering, 3-4 weeks ago, I'm wondering if that was an update getting rolled out, and if that was if that was the like, hey, you actually really need to do this stage, and it just did it. Because I tried to log into it, and it was hung on the like, Windows is restarting, please don't turn off your computer. I'm sitting here going, really? Really? All right, back to Volta. So this is NVIDIA's update to the Pascal architecture, but if you are wondering what relevance this has to your gaming experience in the immediate future, the answer is very little, if none at all. This thing is an absolute monster. This could be, if not the biggest, it is one of the biggest pieces of silicon ever made. It has a ridiculous, oh, look at that. This article even called it ridiculous. Ridiculous 815 millimeter square die. To put that in perspective, the biggest GPUs we've ever seen, and we actually just finished an NVIDIA GPUs through the ages bit. The biggest ones we've ever seen, things like R9 290X from AMD, so R600. I'm trying to remember which ones from NVIDIA that have crept up near that 600 millimeter squared size. Actually, the outgoing P100 was around 600 plus millimeters squared. This is like 30% bigger than it's like building, it's like the Canyonero of GPUs. And I guess that reference is a little bit dated now, but it's like 30% bigger than any other plane that flew that day. Unbelievable. It's using HBM2 memory, and it has over 5,000 CUDA cores with 21 billion transistors. This thing is unreal. So this will be the GPU that's the heart of the Tesla V100, which is like, man, I was so bummed. Because earlier this week, I went down to Simon Fraser University to do an unboxing of their new supercomputer. It hasn't been formally benchmarked yet, actually. Like, they're still very much installing it. The storage servers haven't been spun up yet. Like, it's in progress. So I went down to get hands-on with it. And pretty much as I was sliding out a shelf of P100s, and I was like nerding out over it, I got a notification on my phone that NVIDIA dropped the V100. And I was like, This is how it feels to be a computer enthusiast.
That's pretty brutal.
I literally just touched this for the first time and it's obsolete. So not only is this a huge die, but it's actually using a new process technology as well. So instead of being 16 nanometer, this one is 14 nanometer. As I recall, 12 nanometer. It is 12 nanometer. What the balls? And I think Pascal is 14 nanometer. Sorry, so I was off by 2 there. Freaking crazy. Apparently the R&D budget was over $3 billion. So if you had some hope that Vega was gonna show up and take the wind out of NVIDIA's sails,
okay, I don't know how many people are going to be buying V100.
No, but this...
Like, in terms of consumers.
Okay, a $3 billion R&D budget goes into the architecture.
Yeah, that's true.
That gets you the architecture that NVIDIA has demonstrated they've been very good at scaling up and scaling down for more and less performance and power consumption. So AMD already had no answer to Pascal.
Yeah. Poor AMD.
And if you imagine for a moment that AMD had $3 billion to blow on Vega, you got another thing coming.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope.
I believe they have negative $3 billion to blow on Vega.
I hope that AMD can do something, crazy here and just kind of blindside everybody. But this is a real shot across the bow. Not even giving AMD a chance to show off Vega's performance before they're like, yep, we have working hardware, here it is, we're ready to rock. Holy crap. All right then. Sponsors?
Sure.
Yeah, we got some sponsors for the show today. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace! Squarespace is the way to build your own beautiful website, whether it's, all about nuts, and you just want to tell everybody everything you know, whether you're running the local Pee-wee soccer team, football, sorry. If I say football, then people can interpret that word to mean whatever they want, okay? Local football team, and you just want people to be able to find out your game schedule and how to join the team or whatever it is. If you want to build a website and you want it to look pro, even if you don't know jack squat all about building a website, Squarespace is the way to do it. Seriously, in a few hours, you can go from zero to picking out a template, even writing from scratch all the copy you want for your page, putting in all of your images, and having
It makes it much more like making a really cool document instead of needing to know how to code and all this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can go in just a few hours from only knowing photos and text to having a working website that's rock solid, stable, and looks great on any device because all of their templates use responsive design. What else can I really say about it?
I like that they have commerce modules.
Yep.
So if you do want to sell stuff through your site, maybe you know how to code and you can make your own website, but you don't really want to manage this other website that maybe your mom is making small trinkets and doesn't want to use Etsy or whatever and wants to have her own little store. You could set her up with Squarespace so that you don't have to manage it. It'll always work with all the browsers all the time.
Could you hypothetically do that?
Yes. This maybe happened.
So head over to squarespace.com/WAN and use offer code WAN to save 10%. You know what? Actually, speaking of which, my brother breeds aquatic lizards and stuff. Actually, I don't know if I've ever talked about that. That's cool. That's been a passion for him, and I actually my contribution to his entrepreneurial spirit, and I have officially actually paid for Squarespace now.
Oh.
I bought him a year of Squarespace.
There you go.
It was...
a good here push start your business
Yep.
kind of.
I was just I mean, to be clear, it's not free. It does cost money.
Yeah.
But compared to the time that's involved in trying to set up something scratch built or even something that's a kit but more complicated, it's been totally hands off. Even though my brother's not super techie, I was just here's your login account, drag and drop, move things around, and he's stoked on it.
That's
it's great.
awesome.
Just helping improve discoverability for your business. I can't believe I've never told that anecdote before. That was like Christmas time.
Yeah. Weird. That's cool.
Anyway, speaking of your small business, if you're looking for an accounting solution, why haven't I hooked them up with FreshBooks yet? Wow, I suck.
You went 50% of the way.
Okay.
Does he have a birthday coming up? That was Christmas, right?
You know what? August.
There you go.
Yeah, why don't I just hook my brother up with FreshBooks for his birthday? Okay, so FreshBooks is the super simple way to handle the back end of managing your business. So logging hours, tracking expenses, sending out invoices to people. You can send professional looking invoices in less than 30 seconds. I think that's the 30-second one, or less than, whatever. It's really fast. Their app has a feature that lets you see when your clients look at the invoice for the first time.
One of my favorite things, and
cool.
would probably be helpful for your brother, is that if you get receipts or something because you buy, say, aquatic lizard food, you can take a picture of it with your phone, and it will automatically take care of all your expenses.
Yeah, it's pretty lit
for
as the kids say.
aquatic lizard tanks.
The mobile app has all the functionality of the desktop version, so you can take it with you on the go. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to their support staff, where you will speak to a real human immediately. No phone tree, no escalations, no return call. It's really funny because this tagline sounds so bad. There is no phone tree, no escalations, no return calls. And then they're
screwed.
just answers. Oh, so it's good. It's in a good way. So head to freshbooks.com/WAN and try it out for free today. Enter WAN in the How Did You Hear About Us section when you sign up for your free trial. And, I'd even forgot to mention, they've got a mobile card reader as well. So you can even accept payments directly through the platform. I have one more ad technically, but this is more of us just talking about our thing. Wow, that banner looks terrible.
Yeah, it really does.
That is the worst looking banner that we have ever made.
It's not gonna...
It looks awful. What happened to it?
I mean, I think they just took the logo and just put it on the gray background and then never looked at it. And we're just like, cool, it's done.
I bet Pella's to blame for this. Because he did a lot of the work on the logo. Way to go, Pella.
Anyways, we're having a tech carnival, which is like a weird mixture between con and carnival. Some of the ideas with that is it's going to be tech based and we're all going to be there and there'll be cool, fun activities, but there'll also be a Nerf shooting range.
Maybe.
So
the activities are very much up in the air. I don't know if you're CC'd on the emails, but depending on how many people sign up, what the event actually is might change.
Oh.
But the whole team will be there, and it'll be cool and it'll be fun.
Okay.
And there'll be stuff to do, and you basically hang out with us for a day.
Yeah.
And if that sounds appealing to you, then great. Head over to ticketrocket.co/event/details. Holy crap, this is a horrible URL.
Why don't we shorten that?
I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the thing here. And if it sounds horrible, then don't come!
A few people from my stream have bought tickets.
From your stream?
Yeah.
People from your stream.
There's a few
Are
of
they
them.
born yet?
Oh.
It's not really a stream so much as a...
Wow.
And in fairness, I didn't tell them, don't come.
Yeah.
I'm done now.
Oh my god.
I'm always done.
No. Well, with me.
Yeah.
Anyways, wow. Yeah, so that'll be cool because I haven't actually met a ton of them at different conventions and stuff. But
That might have been the worst bit I ever did.
That was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Back
right.
to topics.
Let's get back to the wedge.
Let's get back into it.
Yeah. Okay, so some other
ready.
big news. AMD is pushing another microcode update to improve Ryzen. So the original article here is from Tweaktown. Let's go ahead and pop that up here. Basically improved DDR4 support, which is good because they don't support DDR3 at all. So if they can't improve the DDR4 support, then we're in a lot of trouble. The info was leaked by a Gigabyte Reps forum post indicating AMD is pushing out the microcode update. It will add over 20 new registers for the Summit Ridge integrated memory controllers to improve compatibility with Intel-optimized DDR4 memory brands. It'll be deployed through motherboard vendors as motherboard BIOS updates. This is crazy. This was posted by Random HK Kid on the forum, and the original article is from the BBC. UK police to start using Minority Report-esque means to help with custody decisions. What? It has been tested for 3 years and is now being readied for a live pilot.
Apparently it's 98%, I can't even find on here, but I remember. It's 98% accurate with low-risk offenders. Yeah, with a suspect of low risk, it was accurate 98% of the time, and forecasts for high-risk suspects were accurate 88% of the time.
So basically, it's designed to classify individuals based on a low, medium, or high risk of them committing a future offense, and then to decide whether they should be kept in custody. The system was made so using data. So the tool is called the Harm Assessment Risk Tool, or HART, and the data was taken from Durham police records between 2008 and 2012. It was then tested in 2013, and the results were monitored over the following 2 years. So forecasts, wow. So basically those numbers are based on real forecasts that they made over the last half a decade or so. Actually almost a decade. Isn't that incredible?
I'd like to know what they were using for forecasting this data.
Well, they're using whether they caught them doing something again.
No, like, because they're guessing if they're going to be doing something or
Yes.
not. So how are they guessing that?
Let's have a look. Wow.
I don't think it's...
Wow, here we go. So the system includes data beyond, but also including a suspect's offending history, including their postal code and gender. To some extent, what learning models do is bring out into the foreground hidden and tacit assumptions that have been made all along by human beings. So pretty much they're using machine learning to stereotype accurately.
Yeah. That's going to be, like, I think the giant conversation in, like, 4 or 5 years is going to be that.
Yeah, it's like, how much is this becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't want this to become like one of those things where I fell into the trap where I said, I'm not going to say that someone whose name starts with H was
you did
anything.
that very poorly.
See, I'm not going to do that again.
I think that way.
Yeah. But like
I
could
really don't
start
like
saying, like, you know, skin colors and genders and, you know, backgrounds and jobs. Basically, we're going to be making these arguments 5 years from now that this system is creating this self-fulfilling prophecy of suspicion that goes beyond sort of your racist grandpa or whatever.
It's
where
gonna be like, the computer thinks I can't do this right.
Yes.
Which is just...
The system objectively, empirically has decided that I am a high-risk individual to be a criminal.
And then, like, does this start becoming public data? Can that be seen on employment records? Like, if you're going to hire someone, can you see their risk profile? That would stop anyone from having the chance of being able to rise above.
Yes.
Which is, like, really brutal.
That's terrifying.
I'm super not cool with that.
Now, to be clear, not all the decisions that it is helping with seem like that big of a deal. Like, one of the things is to decide whether to keep a suspect in custody for a few more hours, whether to release them on bail before a charge, or after a charge has been made, whether to reprimand them in custody. Now that one doesn't sound very good, but the bit about keeping them for a few more hours,
that's probably fine. It seems like saving a little bit of someone's time instead of like...
So the forecasting model's output is advisory.
Yeah.
And should not remove discretion from the police officer using it. But come on.
Except if the police officer's job becomes easier because of this,
yeah,
they're definitely going to use it.
And it becomes an ass covering measure.
Yeah.
Where
it told me.
Yeah, if I'm a cop, if I know that even 88% of the time, I'm gonna get it right if I just do what the computer tells me.
And like it might come to the point where like, yeah, it's advisory, but if you go against the advisory, well,
you went against the advice.
That will raise a flag, and you now have to go talk to your boss and explain why.
You went against the best advice that you could. You created extra paperwork and headache for yourself.
Your boss is gonna be pissed off because why do I have to have this stupid meeting? You should have just gone with the computer or whatever.
Wow, it's terrifying. Oh, cool. Microsoft confirms
keyboard for Xbox One for sure, and also some mice. And in the future, they plan on having all mice working. Now, it's going to have to be supported by developers, so rip everyone. But as we already know, there's a lot of like emulation stuff that can happen.
Now console gamers can put up with crappy console port UI nonsense.
Yeah.
That's great. Like the Grand Theft Auto options for changing your graphical settings that are just broken AF for no reason. Or
hey, I loaded it again with a minor hardware change. Time for those to be all reset.
Like, press A to continue. And you're like...
Why doesn't it work?
Oh, enter. Oh, you mean enter. Or sometimes space bar.
Yeah.
As it were. That's still pretty cool. I love that they are finally getting this like convergence thing going. Why did we treat the Xbox One like not a computer for so long?
It like absolutely is a computer.
It's so frustrating.
So it says initially most models of mice won't be compatible. However, a handful of mice will be, and Microsoft hopes to add support for all mice over time. But even then, developers will have to code support for this new control system into their games. That could be easy for games that are already developed for Windows with UWP porting in mind, but it might be a bigger lift for more console-centric developers. Certain games that are multiplayer...
I'm so stoked on that.
Yeah. That's going to be really interesting, because for a while we've had like these weird... We had one in Office for a little while, and then it was just so janky and broken that we decided not to do a video on it.
Yeah,
but
they were like so butthurt over that. They were emailing me for like 6 months after.
Well, make a better product.
When is the review going up? When is the review going up? And you remember me following up with you. I'd be like, hey, when's that review going up? And you're just like... Eventually you're just like, never!
I don't remember... what company it was from, but we had this little box where you could plug a keyboard and mouse into an Xbox, and it was just kind of garbage, so we never made a video on it. But now that it has like official support, it could be really good. Yeah.
NVIDIA's new headquarters will be liquid cooled with a triple fan solution. The original article here is GameDebate.com, and it actually looks... I think it looks kind of dumb, but it's a big triangle made up of like tessellated triangles, and it's going to have 2 floors and capacity for up to 2,500 employees. There will be a large central courtyard, which every department feeds into, and this is an effort to, quote unquote, capture the energy and buzz of the company.
Hooray.
Okay. So that's neat.
Jensen does not have an office here. It's another weird random bit of information. He does not have an office in the big new headquarters.
Really?
Yep.
So he's just gonna like walk around and check on people?
Or like be somewhere else. I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah, apparently there's no office there. Under
the floor, there's a giant garage, and the building has a snaking system of pipes that feed into a hidden water tower sunk into the roof of the building. The recycled water is then filtered through an evaporation system utilizing 3 giant fans to keep the building cool. So that is pretty cool. Actually, SFU's supercomputer is using evaporative cooling as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and the way that they did it is really neat. So
I want to know now.
You would imagine evaporative cooling. So on the most basic level, evaporative cooling would be you've got cooling tubes, you expose the water to airflow, so that some of the water molecules evaporate and you effectively cool down the remaining droplets to sub-ambient temperatures, and then that gets circulated. But the problem with an open system is that you get contaminants in it. So, and the other thing you would probably assume is that the water being pumped around the data center goes to the heat generating components, like say, for example, CPUs and GPUs, and then there's a hot side that carries that water back out to be cooled. So 2 things that are gonna blow your mind. There's the water cooling system for the building, but there are no blocks installed on anything, and they're using evaporative cooling, but the actual coolant being recirculated is not exposed to the elements.
How does that work?
So the radiators outside the building, there's an automated system that when the coolant temperature goes above a certain threshold, they basically have a big fire hose that sprays them down. And I was like, that is so cool. So they can maintain their 17-degree coolant target in up to 30-degree weather.
Wow.
Yes.
What?
And then they have an extra chiller that can kick in if we get like up really high and boost the now back to the servers. They're all air cooled.
How are they doing sub-ambient?
With evaporative cooling. So by spraying water on the fins, it cools the fins.
Wow, that's
so much.
Ridiculous. So it's not going to be just sometimes. They're going to spray it fairly often.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And they were saying that in high...
I thought you were just saying like in particular load they would spray it.
So in high temperature, low humidity, the water evaporates nearly instantly, so they can just keep blasting it. It gets super cold.
Wow, that's wild.
Really neat. And then in the servers, get this. They are drawing in air from the room.
Okay.
Just from the room. They're just air-cooled servers. So they've got ducting. So it's all taped up and sealed up. Yeah. Every cabinet. So all the air goes in one way. There's no kind of like inefficiency from back pressure forcing air to be recirculated within the cabinet.
Yeah.
And then what they've got is massive radiators on the back of every rack that are so thick and so dense that when you stand, so if you open up the door and stand behind it, it feels like a server rack. It's like frickin' hot, like 30 degrees Celsius. You close the door and it's like a cool breeze.
Oh, that's so weird.
It's incredible. It's amazing.
Oh.
And it's super efficient.
Cool.
So a typical data center, I forget what the scale's called.
Because you're making a video on this, right?
Oh, it's already, this is in production already.
Cool.
I filmed it.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool.
It's lit. It's amazing. So a typical data center, in a perfect, I forget what the scale is.
You're saying it's lit now?
Yeah, I know. In a perfect
I'm older
world,
than you.
In a perfect world, the scale is 1 would be like ideal. You can never achieve that.
Yeah.
For efficiency.
Yeah.
On whatever the scale is.
Yeah.
A typical data center is 1.5 to 2. They're at 1.07.
Jeez.
Because their cooling system is so efficient. Because pumping a little bit of water, especially in Vancouver, not a big deal.
Hydro up here doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like
I think I get a water bill, but I don't know how much it costs because it's not a big deal.
And even power, because our power is water based. So BC is one of the worst places for solar power. I'm so interested in solar power, but it's so useless for me because power is relatively cheap and we have an extremely low amount of natural sunlight because we have so many clouds. There's other places in Canada that are way more effective for solar power than BC is.
Okay, did you talk about this before?
No.
Okay, cool. This is old news, but I'm mad, so we're going to talk about it anyway. Intel rebrands their Xenon line, announces new chips based on Skylake. So the original article here is from Extreme Tech.
Would they rebrand?
Gone is Xeon E3, E5, etc. Here is platinum, gold, silver, and bronze because apparently Intel's naming scheme, folks, while the old system was near indecipherable, at least it had like some years of continuity, so it was somewhat easy to keep track of what was going on generation by generation. Now, they don't want us to be able to understand what's going on, and they also completely lack creativity. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't really have any redeeming stuff for that. I think you found another TechWiki video to make, though.
Yeah.
TechWiki, like half the videos on TechWiki should just be explaining naming schemes.
Yeah.
And then we should just encourage more companies to have really wonko naming schemes. Because like what I don't like about this is in a lot of situations, maybe a silver is exactly what you want, and having a platinum one might literally be worse.
Yeah, because we've definitely run into that.
Yeah. So it's not actually like, oh, it's just factually better if it's in a higher tier and it'll cost more. That's not actually true.
This is fantastic. This was originally posted by Tony on the forum, and Open Benchtable, seemingly as a direct response to us dropping our test benches, now has a 3D printable vertical stand.
I was wondering why they sent this to me, because the guy emailed me directly being like, hey, by the way, there's now 3D printable stands, and I was like, okay. And that actually makes a lot of sense now. Oh man, yeah, we should probably print some of those.
Yeah,
that might be a good idea.
I guess that's pretty much it. Is there anything else you really wanted to hit today?
Floatplane? Scrapyard Wars?
Oh yeah. Okay, so people have been hounding us. When is Scrapyard Wars actually coming? Because the teaser just said May soonish, because Ed is a gigantic troll.
Yeah.
Scrapyard Wars does have a firm release date. The first episode is coming to Floatplane Club this weekend.
Do we have it like a night specifically?
I don't. Yes, we do, but I don't remember what it is.
Sure.
Oh man, Yvonne was actually like stoked. She was like, "Hey, do you want to watch Scrapyard Wars with me tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's the trailer." She's like, "What? No, wait, what? Well, when's it coming?"
I want to watch it. I'm going to watch it before everybody else. So is Boiler. Boiler was like, when is it being uploaded?
So it is first episode coming this weekend to Floatplane.
Yeah.
So the following weekend to YouTube. So there'll be episodes will be coming 1 week apart. We've got the production process streamlined enough now that we can commit to that, and then there will be a 1 week delay between Floatplane Club and YouTube. So if you guys are wondering how to be the first to get your hands on Scrapyard Wars, basically what you do is you head over to the store on the Linus Tech Tips forum. There will be a better system for this in the future, I promise.
Yep.
But you head over to the store and you buy a subscription to Floatplane Club, which gives you access, don't worry, I know, I got this, which gives you access to, hold on, no, it's fine. I think we're good now. Actually, we're
You're
good
not
here.
even supposed to be using a laptop. I promised the admin team on the forum that you would not.
I know, but I'm.
They were trying to take your admin account away.
Okay, but I'm.
And it was like put to a vote and you lost.
Okay.
And I like tried to veto it because I said you would use a different laptop, and then you told me that you would get it done.
I will. I'm not today, but you can see how aware of it. Okay, approval to share my screen.
Sure.
Okay. Linus' screen.
Don't click on anything.
I'm not clicking on anything. So you will get access to a hidden subforum on the forum. There's a button up here to go to it, Floatplane Club, and then you'll see all the stuff that is out on Floatplane but isn't out yet on YouTube. So we've got the world's smallest video drone. We've got Channel Super Fun. I think on YouTube we're going to call this video, This Game Was Banned.
Yeah.
Because we have to, because it was.
Yeah.
We have best desktop graphics for your laptop, so we take a proprietary solution versus Thunderbolt 3
cool.
and benchmark the snot out of it.
That's really interesting.
It's actually a really good video. We've got removing thermal compound the best way. We test, I think it's over a dozen different liquids.
I drank some of them once we were done.
LTT is Bigger Worse, the Alienware 15 gaming laptop review. This one was a simultaneous release. We've got the most bizarre keyboard. That one's going to be fun.
There's also like little bits that you're doing from every now and then.
Yeah, I don't do that very often, though. That's like the post. But theoretically, there's some more sort of discussion in there. Yeah. So there you go. This is the one that went up on YouTube just now.
Yeah.
So,
and then, in a couple days, Scrapyard Wars will be there.
Yes, it will.
Which is so exciting, actually.
I know.
I'm so interested in what happened with them. Do we know how many episodes there are?
Do you want to talk? Okay, I believe... Hold on, you know what? I don't want to say something wrong. So do you want to talk about some of the beefing up that you've done?
The beefing up? No.
Oh, you don't want to?
Nope. Not at all.
Oh.
I might make a post on the Floatplane subforum. But I don't want to talk about it. Hopefully, everything will be fine. And people, let me. Give me 1 second. I have an idea. Nope, not gonna work. 7?
Okay, hold on a minute.
It's gonna be 7 episodes because the feedback people told me it was too long.
Really? How long were episodes before?
45 minutes.
45 minutes? Well, I could have told you that was
How
too
long are they now?
45 minutes.
What?
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 Hold on. 7 episodes for the season?
No.
Oh.
4 episodes.
I hate you. Are they
45
actually
minutes?
45
Yeah,
minutes?
they are 45 minutes.
45-minute episodes?
Isn't that how long the last ones were?
I don't remember. He keeps creeping up the runtime. He's going to be doing 3-hour episodes, but he's just going to start releasing the whole thing uncut at some point and see if I notice. It's just going to be like, yeah, you know what? It was easier this way.
People tell me it's good though. Like,
Okay.
Despite the runtime, it's good. Some notable people are like Jay, and Venom,
Okay.
Kyle.
Okay.
Nope, he doesn't watch it. Paul.
So 4 episodes, 45 minutes each, coming over the next month. I'm going to drop that link in the chat again because you guys should really get signed up for Floatplane Club. It actually is pretty awesome. I mean, do you want to talk about any of the cool stuff you're doing?
Not really.
Oh, you're such a killjoy right now.
I want to test it more. The thing with Floatplane Club is if it works really well, most people won't notice. And that's like the point.
Yeah.
Because it should just work.
You got my message.
No?
I guess. But that's like...
Okay. Yep, that's fine. Just keep me posted and everything will be fine.
Thank
you.
Okay, hold on. I just want to... Can we try a live demo again?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think last time we tried one at
See, like, that's what... I like that. I just don't want to...
Okay.
Yeah. I'll make a post about more stuff and I'll figure out things that I want to talk about. I don't really like talking about things a ton before they've matured a little bit, and I'm like sure that they're fine.
All right.
And like if something fails with it or something weird, I don't want people to be like, what the heck?
All right, okay, so let's have a look at the world's smallest video drone video here. Yes, the cancerous thumbnails are still there a lot of the time. Look at that! Did you see that play? Okay, but hold on. Because we're going easy on it.
It'll take a second longer, yeah.
Okay, so 1080p. Wow! Look at that preview. Look at how fast that loads in, baby.
Oh.
That's not too bad. You got some.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Look at that performance. Hey, do you remember when YouTube buffered so that you could skip ahead like nearly instantly like that? Do you remember the good old days? That's how every video player should work, I think.
Oh, it did a flip.
Anyway, the point is, to those wondering, Floatplane is working. It is more successful by the week, which is one of the reasons that we've been talking about it more on WAN Show. There have been sort of less and less issues week by week. So yeah, we definitely recommend joining if you want the best Scrapyard Wars experience.
Some very exciting things happened in the last. I don't necessarily want to talk about them yet. Maybe next week we'll see how well it goes, and we'll see how much more like buffing up of it we do, because there might be more expansion that we do with it, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But some really exciting things have happened recently that I thought were going to take like months to do, because Boiler's a genius and things went really well.
Contrary to the haters, did we get enough good applicants that you feel pretty good about our chances of development?
So we actually got a lot of really good applicants. The coding challenge is finishing up this Sunday at midnight, and some people have already started submitting their projects. I don't know why, because they have the whole weekend, but I guess they're busy over the weekend. And some of the projects that I've seen already so far are like pretty good. Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm even more excited to like see what people take the whole weekend to finish up polishing and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to grade anybody any different depending on when they handed it in.
See, I've got to address this. The same thing was said about Vessel, how successful it was, and it was an epic failure in the end. So eat it, Linus. The thing is that Vessel had a very different model. Vessel was a startup with like over $100 million, we think, of venture capital that they managed to burn through in 18 months. Now, I've never had any outside investment. So that is not the way that I personally run the businesses that I own and or am a stakeholder in. It is not the way that I believe in doing business. Having a really high burn rate and just kind of hoping that, well, I don't know what they were hoping for, to be perfectly honest.
And
now
like,
that we know how their infrastructure worked, it was way too expensive. I don't know how they could have ever possibly hoped to make a profit.
I feel like the goal the whole time was just to try to get eaten and bought out by somebody, because like it seems insane.
So remember too, though, the people saying what a great, huge success that Vessel was were the people that were trying to talk other people into joining it, or complete outsiders from like an investor relations standpoint.
Yeah.
We don't need investors, and we are not recruiting anybody to join Floatplane Club at this time. We are just really happy that an internal project is going really, really well.
And to be fair, if we were saying that Vessel was going well, we were probably talking about like, well, our production schedule is working,
Yep.
and our fans seem to be happy and that kind of stuff. We weren't talking about like profit structures and whatever else.
Yeah. So yeah.
No hotkeys and stuff. That is a thing that will happen eventually.
Yeah.
So we're not going to work on that yet.
What if we don't have a credit card to use on PayPal for Floatplane? That is something that we are working on. Can we give any progress update on that?
The final site that is being developed on will be using Stripe and PayPal. So if you can't use PayPal for whatever reason, there's various reasons why you might not be able to use PayPal. We can accept whatever cards through Stripe, and Stripe has a lot of different things that they can accept. They're a pretty good system. Yeah, so it won't be tied to just PayPal forever. While it's on the forum, it will be just PayPal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot of actually pretty decent questions in here. Why don't we stop the WAN show and do a short after party?
Sure.
Okay. So thanks for watching. Same bad time, same bad channel. Bye. We'll be back in a second. How dare you tell me to go away? How dare you? I know you would dare to do far more than that to me. It's still streaming.
Oh.
And we're also doing a short after party, so.
Oh, okay.